No, I want to tell you, you found out the reason why the backpack and what we do every year, but I just want to talk a little bit why you're probably wondering there's a police officer here and the importance and the connection of Corey Griffin and Lisa and Pope John Paul Lower Mills. So I've been on for 30 years. My name is Nora Baston. On the job for 30 years, but I've been 20 years in the community with my good friend, come over here. She just retired. Eddie Crispin, who just retired a little bit ago. And we really need to know that. How many people in the room, just I always want to feel the room and know who my audience is, went to college in this room here, right? So I know that I wouldn't be standing here today if I didn't get to go to college, and I grew up in a project, but I got an opportunity because I played basketball. I went to Boston Latin, and I had 16 females who poured themselves into me at Lowell, who were like, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? Why I was at Lowell, I became homeless. Why I'm actually in college, but I lived in the dorms. So I know what it's like to not have anything, but have a community wrap their arms around me. And so everyone asks my whole career why I pour myself back to my community is because I know I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for the 16 women who cared about me, for my university who allowed me and my sister and my 3-year-old niece to live illegally in the dorms, gave us a food card, and just know that we made it. And for the hardest times, to know that those little things like food and being able to get a backpack and be able all these things, but the real thing is that you have an interested adult that cares about you. To know the key to anything you do in life, to me, is having an education in college. It just opens up so many more opportunities. And at Pope John Paul, these kids come in here at kindergarten that probably have never heard about college, talk about college, but when they leave Pope John Paul, they are proud. They know that they really can be. I know we all throw it out like dream and be what you can be, but they're having these conversations about their education, about their future. And Corey Griffin, as soon as you became involved, it just elevated it more. If you see the faces on these kids when they're invited to, when you saw the video of the Christmas, when they give out the laptops, the kids look and they're proud. They look like, I'm a Corey kid, I'm part of this organization, and I know I'm gonna be okay. So when you guys pour back in, it's the backpacks are great. We have it, but I always say that's a connection to a family, to say, hey, we're going to go through your journey with your young person, and that's what you allowed. People don't know that. I met Corey way back when COVID-19 hit, George Floyd hit, and defund the police. Everyone kind of stepped away, but Pope John Paul Lower Mills did not step away from us. Corey didn't. They actually gave us gift cards. No one knows this, because this is when they were behind the scenes, and we actually went to people's houses and handed gift cards in the middle of COVID when we weren't sure of how, dangerous. Sometimes we had masks. But Corey, I remember you giving us, me and Lisa, in the basement of Pope John Paul, and giving the gift cards to family. And then it grew to 100 backpacks in the parking lot of Pope John Paul, and you still stayed up. So to have 4,000 now, in any family to come, we feed them. There are bouncy houses, there's ice cream truck, there's food trucks, and everything is free. Backpacks, right? And haircuts. And the whole thing is community, and you saw that said love. It really is love. The kids feel loved, their families feel loved, they feel like they're part of it. And for me and the police, it's allowed us to be #1 in the country, I know everyone says it, in building relationships, because these families and these kids, when we're walking, I can be in East Boston, they say, I know you. You come to my school and play basketball. I go to school at Pope John Paul the first day of school, we are there. Every year, we are there the last day of school, high-fiving the kids, and in between. And that's what Corey has brought us, because we're there on the field day, so we're there when it's good, so we don't just show up to the families in need. And if you guys are the future, just like we tell the young people, so these kids one day are sitting in your shoes and can go to any schools. And we just had a graduation, a bunch of Lisa's kids, we give out scholarships. We gave out 31 scholarships. And the people that gave the scholarships, and they were hearing Harvard, UConn, Spelman, and I know the guy was kind of looking, because he thought, you come into, half of the kids are from Lisa's school at Pope John Paul that had graduated. And I said to the guy, I said, hey, these kids really, because when you hear those names, you're kind of like, are we hitting the right population? I said, no. These kids, we make them dream big. There's nothing wrong with community college and RCC and the Bunker Hill, but when they're around us and we get to have them at Lisa's age, at 4 years old, going to Corey's day, we stay in their life in those little conversations like, hey, what is your kid's future? How can we help you? And this is what you have allowed year after year, and all the funds going back, poured back into these kids. And I hope that you guys can take the time to come, because once you see it, you will feel the love and feel the connection and feel community. And the point that you're here, and I went to the Corey Fest, that you guys really care about the kids in the communities that need it most, and you invest. Just by showing up today, it means so much that you have a following that I can't understand, because I went to the festival and I was like, whoa, I'm getting a hotel next time. It was a blast. But I saw everyone dedicated into a future, and you could not care, right? Like the point that you're here and that you care about a foundation that gives back, because Emerging Leaders Council is you. We need you guys to be like when Rob and everyone's retiring. We need you guys because you are the future leaders. You are not Gen X, Z, you're like a whole letter we don't know. But you are the ones that needs to invest, because just like my son, he's all set for college. But all week, what did I spend? I drove a young girl from Jamaica Plain to Bentley College to talk about basketball, and she was in the 3rd grade. And at the end, I said, and you know what, dorms? She said to me, she's 11 years old, my son's 12. She said, what's dorms? And this girl has potential in basketball, but the point to take her every day for that conversation, to put in her head at Bentley College, like, you could go to Bentley College someday, and for her mom and her dad to be like, your young daughter who can play basketball could go to Bentley College, and to put that in the head. And that's what Corey allows us, to bring these families, to get us to get to know these families, to have these conversations, and then provide support, like at Pope John Paul. Lisa, you are amazing. You have been the biggest champion for the Boston Police. When everyone stepped away during COVID and during defund the police and George Floyd, you even stepped up more. You opened your doors, and she never hid it. And for Corey, you invite us in every single thing you do, and your reputation is always up here. And to be like, I'm with him, just like I do when I'm with Jaylen Brown and all the, you have poured yourself, but I think you have the same common denominator that we do. We care about our kids and our future, but you bring it to another level, because he doesn't have to be here. He doesn't have to come to Dorchester with 4,000 kids in Corey's day. And you can feel the love and feel like it's genuine. And thank you guys for all being here, because I know that the Corey Foundation, you guys at the Emerging Leaders Council, you guys are our future. So just thank you so much for taking the time out. And thank you, Rob and Lisa and Pope John Paul, for being the biggest champion and partner of the Boston Police.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Eddie Crispin. Just briefly, I started off my career as a social worker. And I tell everybody this. I would walk into homes, and I'd see young people who were 6, 8, 10 years old, and I could already tell the trajectory of their lives, right? A lot of whether or not somebody succeeds is access, opportunity, and somebody willing to teach them that they can dream bigger than their circumstances. And I think Nora's already spoke extensively about the opportunities that are afforded by St. John Paul, Lower Mills, Lisa, who is a wonderful individual. I worked for the Boston Police Department for 27 years. I was a probation officer for 2 years. I was a social worker for a couple of years. I spent a lot of time volunteering in community. It is a rarity that you meet people who are so invested. And I think all of you have the same potential to impact people's lives, right? There is nothing like coming into someone's life and seeing them evolve and develop, and seeing them mature into the person that you dreamed when you first met them when they were 6, 8, or 10 years old. So continue to invest in others, because to me, that is just as fulfilling as seeing your own family members. Some of you will have kids one day, and seeing them evolve and succeed. Right? So again, continue to invest in our young people, volunteer. And I know a lot of you guys are here today, as part of this, but I think the bigger part is showing up. Show up, right? There's a lot of people who give money and kind of walk away. For me, when I meet and talk to young people, the most important part is seeing people continually show up in their lives and provide examples as to where they can be and what they can be. All right, that's all I have. Nora had a lot to say, took a lot of my material.